Hello everybody, welcome. Thank you for having us here today, and firstly I'd really like to start by thanking anyone that voted for us on the panel picker. It's a really great privilege to be here, and also thank you to UKTI for helping us actually get here, and thank you very much to South by Southwest for giving us this incredible venue. A little quick plug before we kick off. Tonight, DJ Yoda over there will be doing an incredible show. DJ Yoda goes to sci-fi movies at the Highball in Alamo, South Lamar at 10 o'clock. So he'll tell you a little bit more about what that means, but just so you can get it in your diaries at the beginning. So I really wanted to start by finding out about kind of who is in this room so we can make sure that what we're saying is relevant to you. So can you just raise your hand if you work in exhibition? Yeah, a couple. If anybody works in distribution, fabulous. And then anyone who's in the festivals world, it's a popular one. And then anybody who's an artist or event producer or anything like that. Great, okay, so we've got a mix of everybody, which is exactly what we wanted, so that's always good. So first of all, I'd really like our panel to introduce themselves. There you go.
Hey, that's me. So I am with the Alamo Drafthouse. I am the VP of Special Events there these days, which means I do a little bit of everything from our interactive events inside the theater to running our kind of rolling roadshow pop-up cinema rig with all the outdoor things there. You can see that we've got a photo of an old one that we did when we took a tour of our big truck to famous movies and famous places, and that's us showing Close Encounters of the Third Kind at Devil's Tower. Last year we did Jaws on the Water, and that's that lower one. That got a ton of attention, and that photo went super viral. And I will also say that I did not know that what I did was called live cinema until you reached out and said, hey, do you want to be on this panel about live cinema? And then I don't know if that's just because I'm the American here, but I was like, I'll be on a panel, what is it? I've always just thought of it as what I do is I kind of eventize screenings as much as I can and try to give fans of any movie the best experience, no matter what. But that's me.
That looks like me. My name's Duncan Beanie, but I go by the name DJ Yoda professionally. My background is hip-hop DJing really, and started as a club DJ. But as the technology evolved to allow visuals to be mixed in with audio at the same time, I got really into that world of starting to mix and scratch movies the same way that I would previously with just songs. So I started by re-soundtracking full movies where just the whole film would play, and I would just do a DJ set that works along under the whole movie. And now I can just take clips of different bits of films and things from YouTube and TV shows and anything that I think is cool, and make whole shows out of it. So I've been doing a lot of stuff like that in cinemas, clubs, festivals. So I guess I'm approaching it from an artist perspective. That's me.
Can you play that video, please?
Are you filming? £2 film, sir.
Into these evils we've created, all vacated, indulge ourselves sedated. A moral compass, following direction. With God's it's easy, just wait for resurrection. Prophet and the Savior will never show their face. Of we're written care no longer for this race. Who can blame them for me shaming? Where's whenever possible? Vendors are my vendors. Will escape the probable of fear of it when lyric. Destiny must sicken us. Overall stenches of a people given up. Thesis who believe this, analysed and written up. Soothsay for the sake of it, and who knows if they listen up. Given stuff, forbidden stuff, becomes imprisoned stuff. Since something different, lest they've forgiven us. Achieve so very much, perceive so very little. Have no understanding of the people we belittle. Don't negotiate with enemies, God forbid we understand them. Simple thought, conceived, decided, ideas, planned them. But most of it is happening quite random. Just gambling humanity, the trigger with the hand on.
fantastic. So Duncan, do you want to just explain what that was?
Yeah, probably should have prefaced the video with what it was, but here's what it was after. That was the artist Banksy in the UK created a theme park. It was full of various different artist stuff, but as part of that experience, we did that audio-visual show that I was just talking about. So they had a big cinema screen, and I guess the show that I put on there was somewhere between watching a movie and going to a club. That's the kind of thing that I do normally. So yeah, that was like a typical show for me, but at a particularly cool venue.
Fab. Okay, this is me. So I'm really just here as the chair. I'm not the expert, but to let you know what I do, that's my cinema. You can see right there. So we're an art house cinema in the north of England, fully independently programmed. And we dabble in live cinema, so we've done all sorts of kind of live accompaniments and DJ sets, and this the two pictures you can see there are of a screening of a film called Threads, which I don't know if anybody would be familiar with, but it's about a nuclear bomb being dropped on my city of Sheffield, and this was the 30th anniversary of the film, so we screened it to the backdrop where the nuclear bomb would be dropped, and made everybody wear emergency blankets.
Is that what that siren's for?
I don't know what that siren's for, but it's not a nuclear bomb. Okay. Lisa.
Hi, I'm Lisa Brooke. I'm the director of Live Cinema UK. We are the only organisation in the country, and as far as we know, the world, that specifically campaigns to get more people doing live cinema. So we match up film exhibitors, festivals, cinemas with artists and live cinema shows, so people like Duncan. I'm not going to read from the slides, but you can see what we do there. We have just established the new Live Cinema Network, which is a massive step forward in analysing the industry, seeing what the benefits are to all involved. So how you can increase your box office income through doing a live cinema event, how artists can challenge themselves through getting involved with film exhibition work. And I think we're going to move on to talk about what is live cinema, I think.
We are, but first of all,
I
have a video to explain it.
So this video is the video that we submitted for the panel picker submission, and it features Duncan, and it also features some of Henry's work, Alamo Drafthouse, and the Jaws events in there. It's mainly UK events that we've been involved in that are in this video, but it just gives a really good overview of the realms of live cinema.
but being better's better.
Fabulous, thank you. And if you needed any more explanation, this is what we mean by live cinema.
Okay, so you're the first people in the world sort of seeing these stats, and they're not just pulled out of the air. We've been working at Live Cinema UK for the last year, funded by Arts Council England, to define what live cinema is, because the term was being bandied around, and it was making it incredibly difficult for exhibitors and artists to discuss when we didn't know what we were talking about. So, in partnership with academics at King's College London and University of Brighton and partners across the UK, we have got a definition that may change slightly, but it's a film screening augmented by additional performance or audience participation. So in the UK, 48% of film exhibitors are doing this now, and that's not including the multiplexes because they just don't do it. Some of them do a little bit when they're part of a film festival, but we're mainly looking at independent cinema chains and film festivals. By far the largest category of live cinema is live soundtracks. So you saw a clip there featuring From the Sea to the Land Beyond by British Sea Power. That production is constantly touring. It was produced 5 years ago, but is still hugely popular, and that's an archive compilation film of 100 years of footage of the British seaside, which it seems quite an obscure left field subject, but is incredibly moving and really, really popular. Live soundtracks also includes traditional silent film accompaniments, as well as more contemporary work such as Asian Dub Foundation, who do quite a diverse range of films, including The Battle of Algiers and La Haine. Theatrical interventions, you saw a few of those in there by Sneaky Experience. The main one that we have to talk about is Secret Cinema. Has everyone heard of Secret Cinema? Yeah? If you haven't heard, they are coming to the US soon, supposedly. It's been delayed slightly, but they basically take over a venue and create the world of a film as an installation, and those productions run for about 3 months. Last year, Back to the Future had an installation, and that took £3.5 million, so over $5 million for one film in 3 months with 4 shows a week. This year they did Star Wars, and that took over £7 million, so $10 million one film, because of the addition of theatrical intervention. Also site-specific immersion, so showing films in caves or in the location that the film was shot. Dress-up screening, so Big Lebowski parties are really popular, where everyone turns up in the dressing gowns, drinks like Russians. Sing-along, dance-alongs and quote-alongs. I know Henry has the copyright in the US on the quote-along. He doesn't in the UK though, so...
so those make some arguments.
Oh, okay. We'll discuss that later. So, if you don't know what a quote-along is, could you explain quickly what a quote-along event is?
I mean, it's kind of self-explanatory in the word. We have people come out and quote along with their favorite movies. Sometimes just we show the movie and say, okay, say your favorite lines out loud, and sometimes with kind of a second screen like this, or projection of key lines that we pick out as our favorites that are kind of highlighted karaoke style, so that people can not heckle, because I did not want it to become like a typical Rocky Horror screening where I actually enjoy the film Rocky Horror and don't enjoy people that just yell at the screen the whole damn time. So the quote along was really about, let's do a Rocky Horror kind of thing, but tame the audience a little bit. There we go.
That's an interesting point that we should come back to about, does it distract from the film? We didn't put that in, but yeah, we should come back to that.
Okay, so the first part of our argument is new art form. If cinema is the 7th art, we're all being French here, can we consider live cinema the 8th? So part of this is because of the way that live cinema or event cinema was first pitched in the UK. So I'm talking about the kind of the theatre and the opera streaming stuff now. That was always, the term was cross art, which essentially meant one art form transposed into another art form's environment. And I think it's really important that we differentiate between the two. And then also, we were saying earlier how something what Yoda does when you actually mix the film with the music, it's not simply an accompaniment, it's not just, you know, passive. It's a very active way of using the film. I think that crosses over a little bit.
From my point of view, like cinema is you sit down and watch a narrative, whether it's linear or not, from start to end. And from where I stand at these events, people aren't seated, people are dancing, there's all clips of all different things going on. It's not the same as a cinema experience. I don't think you could argue that it is. It's definitely something new.
Yeah, and I think the various things that people do can actually create. I would be hesitant to actually say we're creating new art, because I'm never really sure what art is. But also, you're creating an advancement, I would say, like an augmentation of
It's
existing
definitely
art.
some kind of moving it on to a next level. It's definitely something different.
Yeah, and these are my wonderful clip art images you can see on my presentation here. But I put dance on because I thought it's actually one that we've not really explored very much. And
I'm going to be soon.
Okay, because I was thinking that actually that's a really obvious one that could have pretty incredible stuff you could do. But maybe that's one we can all think about and talk about later and see what people can come up with. So we need to touch on this because it's a pit of complexities about legality with anything where you repurpose existing artwork. I'm not an expert on the US law, but I can probably talk to you about how complicated it is in the UK. But maybe Henry can talk about how you get round legal issues or loopholes, maybe?
Sometimes you just push play, and then you see what happens. This is too large of a topic to really touch on. But you know, it's everything from when we do Jaws on the Water, we're booking it as a non-theatrical, and there's different companies that own the theatrical rights versus the non-theatrical rights, which have a bunch of different rules for how you can advertise an event when it's not theatrical, and also what type of venue counts as theatrical versus non-theatrical. The Paramount Theater here is technically non-theatrical because they don't always show movies day in and day out, whereas Alamo Drafthouse locations are obviously very theatrical. But then it's just booking the movie and paying the copyright owner their share of it. When you start doing other types of things where you're mashing it up, and
yeah, I was going to say, paying the copyright owner isn't so simple when you've got 200 movies being used in one show. But I treat it much like I do DJing with audio, whereby you know, what you're supposed to do after a DJ set is fill out the name of every song that you played and everyone gets paid, and it's kind of the same with movies. You're supposed to do that, but I guess the technology hasn't caught up with the law yet, because I think there should be something in place that allows people to get paid and it would just be done digitally, like Shazam.
Yeah, there should be something like that. The other thing is, I found that there's the wonderful world of the cease and desist, and until you have gotten one, don't cease. Just keep going. And
persist.
Yeah, continue and persist. And then most folks kind of know what we're doing, and I've had definitely a lot of conversations with heads of studios that have been like, I can't tell you to keep doing what you're doing, but it sure is good. Wish I could tell you that you could keep going. I'm not going to tell you to stop though, because I'm not a lawyer. It's just like, all right, cool, we're good.
And then Lisa, in the UK, you've been doing quite a lot of work around commissioning new soundtracks and new kind of remasterings. How do you deal with the ins and outs of that?
So if you want to make a new soundtrack to a film that you love as an artist, there's two things that you do. The one I suggest doing first is get in touch with the director directly and get him on side before you go to the content owner, because you are ultimately if we're showing a film and we're not touching it in any way, we're not taking the soundtrack off, we can just book it as a non-theatrical or a theatrical depending on the venue, so very similar to the US. If we want to change it in any way, so do a new soundtrack, you need to go through a lot of people